Hey, I'm Desmond, and people know me as the siding guy as well. I didn't grow up in a handy home at all. My dad didn't have any tools. He didn't even fix stuff until they were ready to sell the house, and fixing was just sort of coats of paint, and that's about it. So after I graduated, I took a gap year to work. I worked at a gas station, but I saved up money to go to school. I went to a Bible college here in Edmonton, and I got a bachelor degree of Christian studies. It was pretty natural for me to go into ministry because I really enjoyed helping people, and it had a huge impact in the way I grew up, because I felt I was pretty much an outcast growing up in school, and church was one place where I felt accepted, and so that's kind of what took me on that path. After 5 years of ministry, I just decided to take a break. So I ended up actually working in the aquarium trade. I lost my job at the aquarium place, and the manager lost his job at the same time. We were both out of a job, and he said, "Hey, do you want to help my sister renovate her rental place?" I said, "I have no experience." He's like, "Well, just come help me, and she'll pay us $10 an hour to do the bathroom at her rental house." And that's my first taste of construction. She was really happy with it and said, "Why don't you spruce up the outside of the house?" My friend's like, "Oh yeah, we can do this." And so we learned how to side from Home Depot pamphlet, and she was really happy with how it looked. And then we saw an ad in the paper saying siding installers wanted, and we're jokingly said, "Hey, we can do this." And so we ended up getting accepted for this subcontracting job for a townhouse apartment. I was really uneasy about it. I'm like, I don't think we can do this. We had a 20-foot ladder. How are we going to get our ladder on site? And then as we're driving down the road, I said, "How about this? Next yard sale sign we see, we're going to pull in, and if they have a ladder rack that fits one of our vehicles, then we'll take the job. If not, then we're out." And he pulls out this ladder, goes up in his attic and pulls out this rack. And so that's how we got the ladder rack, and the next day we signed the paperwork, and that was our first project. After that first project, my friend said, "I can't do this anymore." He hated it. And for me, I was like, well, it's an income. I never saw it as a career, ever. You know, I said, we'll do this for now until I maybe go back into ministry. Overnight, I incorporated a company and got my own, workers' compensation, all that kind of stuff, and became a legitimate business. And then I started doing these houses, and other builders started seeing me do houses pretty quickly by myself. I remember actually just down the road here, I was doing a house, and there was a 5-man crew across the street, and I was solo. And then that builder came to me and said, "Why do I have 5 guys on my site, and you're working by yourself, and you're doing it twice as fast, and your work looks way better than my stuff? I want you to doing my houses." And so that's how I picked up a second builder. I realized it was a really good living, and so then I started training people. They'd be on site with me learning, and then I'd set them up on their own for these houses as I picked up more and more builders. The number of crews I had was 10. Yeah, and then I had to step off the tools in order to manage it. And then to get work, I would cold call builders, set up appointments, and basically try to talk to the highest up guy and said, "Give me a chance, give me a house. I'll do it for this price, a little cheaper than what your guys were, and let's go from there." And that's how I got more and more work. That's the beauty of construction or trades in general. You've got a final product, and And I think the work itself sucks. Many people think, oh, you know, I really enjoy being a carpenter. I really enjoy siding. I think the enjoyment comes more in here than the hard physical labor of bringing shingles up a roof or 4x8 sheets of plywood, you know, and lifting and hauling it. It's not fun work, but it's satisfying standing back and saying, when I showed up, these were a bunch of wood sticks and sheathing, and now it looks like a house. So I think that's where the satisfaction comes in, is you're constantly being fed visually, this is what my two hands did. Questions that come in my mind is what next? Whereas, you know, should I be satisfied with status quo? You know, or should I keep pushing? And, you know, and if you sort of verbalize it like that, the answer is kind of obvious. It's like, okay, in order for things to get better, you can't be stuck in the past. And by nature, I'm a problem solver, so I enjoy, you know, making even something minute a little bit better. You know, as I get into new hobbies like climbing, I'm like, oh, what if we did this? You know, what if we thought outside the box and this could be better? And so I think not just in the trades, but in anything, that if you're stuck in the past, then you're not moving forward.